Okay, so Cami, can you say a little bit about how you think about sort of setting up groups for women who use violence? What I mean by that is in terms of the rules or the agreements that you might set up, for the women, maybe about things about absences or how, being late or any of those sorts of things in terms of groups. Tell me a little bit about your philosophy of that.
Well, being that they are victim survivors, being gentle with them and having them involved in this part of their life is important. It gives them a sense of their power back. And so we do have a basic set of rules, but the women also make their own group rules as we go. And the basic group rules are if you have 3 absences, then we do notify probation. But after that, it isn't a hard and fast rule where or when they can come back into group. Typically, probation works with them, I work with them, and then we get them re involved and start them over in group when we have the time and the space available for them.
Yeah.
Another rule would be this is interesting. It had come up in a recent training and it really hit home for me as a victim survivor. Where in this training, they talked about the women being in trouble. Now,
Okay.
women are walking on eggshells with a partner as it is. So to come into an environment where they're trying to learn about their own experience and then they have to walk on eggshells in that environment too is disempowering and it's crushing to them. And being a victim survivor myself, that was really shocking to me. And so, what they do is they take the phones away or they punish the entire group by ending the group if the woman does not come forward and say, "Hey, my phone rang."
Oh,
And
you mean like if women bring their cell phones into the in-person group, there's
mhm,
one of the rules is they're not supposed to do that, is what I'm
mhm,
understanding from you.
mhm.
And if one of the women, let's say, does that and it rings, what you heard is it was that they all get punished in terms of
They all
that?
get punished if she does not come forward and admit.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So the whole, wow. Yeah.
And
So
that was
be a little bit about
shocking to
your
me.
reaction to that.
So I had a pretty visceral reaction to that, given the fact that, I was a victim survivor. And
Mm.
had I been in a group or been involved in that and been court ordered to a group like that, I would have pushed back and been highly resistant. I don't know that all women would be, but I certainly would have been. And that isn't even in my nature to be that sort of person. But having been so crushed by a batterer, you look at initially these groups as another part of the system. It's another punishment. In
Yeah.
reality, though, the women who have come into group have not even identified it as being pushed into doing something. In fact, some of them have started in other programs and they've said things like, I felt like a zombie when I was going to that program. I really couldn't express myself because all I felt was guilt, like I was a batterer and I was causing harm. When in fact, now I understand that I'm a victim survivor and I now understand why I did what I did. I didn't understand it when I was in this other program, but with you, I understand it. I understand because of the other women's experience, their ability to be open, and the trust that we have here in this space.
Yeah, I mean, you're just reminding me, Cami, of when we were sort of thinking about, starting turning points, as a group and curriculum and such. And one of the philosophies that we had was that, when we identified that it was a survivor who was using resistive violence, right? That we wanted to think, okay, we don't want to, stand in for the abuser, right? We want to create something that's counter to what they're experiencing, with their abuser, and that we don't want to replace ourselves in that way. And that's a bit of what I've heard you sort of say right through this example that you're talking about. And what I hear you saying is with this example you recently heard is that this program sort of just became another sort of power over sort of entity, over the women, who were sort of court ordered to this group.
Another
Yeah.
layer, just like another batterer, is what
Yeah.
it essentially amounts to them, and they disengage.